Now, Nandini, it's great to have you back on the podcast. What's your top story for us today?
Time for some news about one of China's tech darlings that should be of particular interest for people interested in China-India relations. Huawei has some big ventures in the pipeline. Not only has the Chinese telecommunications giant been working on its own operating system called Harmony, which should be available for smartphone use in around 6 months' time, but the company is now also stepping up its efforts to conquer the Indian market. The latest news is that the tech company is on the brink of launching its own version of GMS in India.
For those of us who don't have a clue what GMS means, could you please explain it for us?
Sure thing. So the acronym GMS stands for Google Mobile Services. This describes a collection of Google apps that often come pre-installed on Android devices. But now Huawei is set to deliver its own version of the mobile ecosystem with the extremely imaginative name of HMS, Huawei Mobile Services. And earlier this week, Huawei's consumer head in India, Charles Peng, was quoted by the country's Economic Times on December 24th as saying that the majority of HMS apps, quote, such as navigation, payments, gaming, and messaging, will be ready soon. Peng also stated that, quote, consumers won't see a difference between GMS and HMS, which speaks volumes again for creativity.
Okay, well, I know some of our listeners are based in the subcontinent, but why should the rest of us care about this story?
Well, aside from the fact that India is a population billionaire, so anyone who cracks this market is going to become a billionaire themselves. The delivery of HMS marks the latest development in the Chinese telecommunications ongoing feud with the US.
I knew we couldn't go a whole podcast without mentioning the trade war.
Yes, indeed. So as a reminder, Google banned Huawei smartphones from receiving Android updates, permitting them to use only the open source version of the operating system. And of course, Google's move was prompted by the Trump administration's blacklisting of the Chinese company. Although the ban was eventually lifted in June during a G20 summit when Trump said US companies could sell their equipment to Huawei again. Nonetheless, in this current geopolitical climate, uncertainties remain over Huawei's phone's use of GMS, explaining why the Chinese tech company may be scrambling to launch its own operating system and HMS.
And will HMS be rolled out in other countries too?
It looks like it. Huawei is set to be sweet-talking Chinese and Indian developers to help expand HMS to other regions like Europe.
So, today India, tomorrow the world? We'll definitely keep an eye on that story.